Namaste, Soul Circle! I'm Candace.
And I'm Steven.
And we're from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit here in Toronto, Canada.
But wait, there's more. It's the Lunar Calendar.
Each of these moons have different energy, and that means it can do some specific work for you. Is this cycle for healing, for releasing, for action, for gratitude? And as we go along today, we may even throw in some tips and tricks on how it ties into our solar wheel of the year. It all works together.
Doesn't it though? For today's video, we will be using 2021 as the example because every few years it can fall slightly different based on the path of the sun and the moon in relation to the earth. And that's really where this magic of the moon lives, in the specific correspondences every single year.
But first, be sure that if you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We are forever grateful for your support. Let's moon. So now, moving into August, we have the Scarlet Moon or the Sturgeon Moon. The Colony Calendar called this time of year Alambios, which stands for calm time. It's the time to just relish in the moment and all you've created. This moon hits very close to home for us. Its name is chosen for its ties to abundance. A sturgeon is a fish that comes from the Great Lakes of North America, where we live in Toronto, Canada, and located in Lake Ontario, one of the Great Lakes, just down the road.
Just right over there.
Yeah. Sturgeons are one of the most abundant fish in the lakes and rivers all over this area, and because of this, the Algonquin people who lived as far east as New England and as far west as Lake Superior named this abundant moon after their most abundant fish. Sadly, the sturgeon have been moved to the species at risk list. Yeah. Fish are a water element, which is where abundance and healing live. So, being into the flow of this moon can have favorable results. Outside of North America, this moon has been called the Scarlet Moon, the Red Moon, Green Corn Moon, and Grain Moon to symbolize the beginnings of harvest season.
During this full moon, the solar energy of Leo is met with the practical energies of Virgo. Often they say that at this solar exchange, the lion's roar is quelled as he settles into his green home in the deep forest, where he will sleep through the colder months of winter. Now it's nature's time to do the work. The insular energy of the proud lion turns to the root systems of the world. This is felt in modern day culture as the summertime ends and we jump back into our schedules that we have in place. It's no longer about just the lion anymore. It's time to get back to the real world.
But we have something interesting here in 2021. Based on the lunar calendar, we have a second Aquarius moon. Clutch your pearls, Soul Circle. Clutch them. Clutch them strongly. We use this energy to blow open the structures we are committed to now that Aquarius is upon us. With Harvest Moon beginning, what parts of your life can Aquarius wisdom help broaden? Where do you need more clarity? With Aquarius and Virgo aspecting each other, no other combination could be more clear.
We've made it to September. It's Harvest Moon, also called the Song Moon or the Wine Moon.
Oh.
This time of year was traditionally known to Celtics as Edrinos, which translates to arbitration time. You know, I just love Harvest Full Moon so much.
I was just thinking, I was like, I love Harvest Moon.
Right?
Not that I want to rush the summer, but
Yeah.
I love Harvest Moon. I really do, yeah.
Now, we're really getting into some of our faves here. As the wheel of the year spins away from summer, the focus of energy turns from celebrating the sun towards looking inwards. Harvest is the time of the year where we begin to look within at different parts of ourselves and begin making decisions about how we move forward. There's a lot of integration during this cycle. The name, of course, comes from the time in Old World harvesting, which was taking stock of your food supply for this coming winter.
Harvest is hugely important to our ancestors because it really dictated what the next coming months would look like for you and your family. It forces you to take stock of your life and has more somber feelings than the solar-infused months before it. Whatever full moon is closest to Mabon, the autumn equinox, be it the September full moon or the October full moon, is the harvest moon. Sometimes the corn moon swings in here when it's needed to fill the void.
Harvest itself is very Libran. We look at things that need to be balanced in our life. What roots need to be pulled? What no longer is serving you? And then this full moon comes along with the energy of Pisces, which begs you to soften and see things from different perspectives. How do all of these energies serve you in the grand scheme of your life? With the dual energies of Libra and Pisces, this season is all about balance and making decisions that best serve you before harvesting the rest. I'm a big fan of the energies of this time of year, and I really do believe that how we handle our harvest, it really dictates the honesty and success of our next coming cycle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Big
for
time.
sure. October, it is time for the Hunter's Moon. Oh boy, this is a wild one. If you've ever watched a movie about a full moon being scary and supernatural, the Hunter's Moon is probably the moon that we're talking about here. Traditionally, it was called Cantios, which stood for song time. It's very poetic, I'm sure, but often songs were used to honor the passing of loved ones and those who had died before us. And that's what this is referring to. This is the full moon that is always closest to Samhain in the Wheel of the Year, and it is said that during this time, the veil between the worlds is the thinnest.
Also a good time for shadow work.
Yes, extremely good.
Gotta love that shadow work. Traditionally, the name came from, well, hunting. The animals had spent their summers eating and are in prime healthy state, but hunters know that with winter approaching, they must provide meat for their families over the cold months ahead. They needed to take to the fields to ensure their family's survival. Because of this, the hunter's moon can sometimes be called the blood moon.
This moon is usually when the sun sign energy of Libra is met with the deep undercurrents of Scorpio, helping us explore what is in our depths. And with the full moon entering Aries, there's going to be a lot of passion backing this energy. Remember, Aries is most successful when they charge forward and finish what they start. Don't get lost in the depths of Scorpio waters. Remember to surface and grow.
So now we move into November. The full moon for November is known as the blood moon or the beaver moon. This is the Celtic season of Seminios, which translates to seed fall, based on its ties to the ancestors. The indigenous in North America refer to this as the beaver moon or the morning moon, or in some traditions also the blood moon. We love all these traditional moon names because of what they represent, and we work with both images. This moon has so many different names because the energy at this time of year can look totally different depending where you live. For North American indigenous cultures, it is known as the beaver moon. We have beavers all over our region here, and it's during this time of year that they can be seen securing their dams to go inside for the approach of season's rest. What things do you need to do to secure yourself as winter approaches? And because this is a full moon, what things are you leaving behind and not taking with you into the dam or into the next coming year, for that matter? It comes after the final harvest of Samhain, and we are setting in with what we have and finding gratitude in it.
This full moon is in perfect alignment with Taurus energy. Taurus is a lot about your home and your possessions, and as an earth sign, it grounds us to look around and take stock of what we have. Now, in Celtic traditions, this was called the morning moon. It follows the same energy. After Samhain, traditionally, we would have felt deeply connected to our root systems and our ancestors. Because of this, it is also called the blood moon, not for the hunting like last month, but for bloodlines and blood ties. This full moon, you would grieve the parts of your lives that can no longer be carried forward into the winter, because you'd have no time to focus on anything in the past. You're focusing on survival in the coldest winter's months.
Samhain is, after all, the new year on the Celtic calendar, and they started this year in reverence and gratitude for the world and systems around them, and used this moon cycle to release in preparation for the season of rest. And sometimes that means letting go.
All right, we've made it to December. This is the cold moon or the longest night moon. This was traditionally called Dumanios, roughly translating to the darkest depths. It was originally named by the Mohawk people and was done so because December is cold.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, it translates. For our ancestors in the northern hemisphere, they're in the thick of winter. And the cold moon is the full moon that's closest to the winter solstice, which means the Celtic name, the long night, comes from the winter solstice. It's all the same energy.
This moon takes place as we move towards Capricorn energy and begin earthing ourselves again. It's during this time where it doesn't matter what's taking place outside in the cold, we retreat to where it's warm and to those we hold close to us. This is where most traditions celebrate some kind of holiday where we come together and celebrate those we love, because we feel the vibrations in the air pulling us away from the cold outside and towards these places we have warmth in our lives.
This full moon is in Gemini, which means it's time to communicate and be social with those who are close to us. The full moon invites us to open our minds and our hearts to those around us and be like a Gemini. The world is an open book.
Oh man, so that's a lunar calendar.
I mean, that is a whole lot of moons we just talked about.
A whole lot of moon. It's important to understand that as the lunar year goes, the energy, like the moon, will wax and wane. Often if one month was very much about earth sign grounding, the next full moon may be about leaping and charging. Look at the energies of the zodiac sign the moon takes place in and see how that impacts what you are releasing or celebrating that full moon.
All right, we only have a few more really important moon details to discuss here.
Let's start with blue moon. A blue moon is when there's a second full moon in a month. It happens every 2 to 3 years, usually in July, August, or October. However, every 19 years, there can be 2 blue moons in a single year. This would happen in January and March because there's no full moon in February. Remember, February is the shortest month of the year.
Fun fact, blue moons got their name from forest fires in Canada and Sweden. And after the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883, the moon was blue for nearly 2 years while they were witnessing this strange moon behavior.
Wow.
Of course, we know that the blue moon usually stands for bewitching souls and are associated with mystery and temptation.
Ooh. Lastly is the black moon. Now, this can happen in 3 ways, okay? The first 2 would occur in February. So 1, there's no new moon in February, or there's no full moon in February. The third option would be when a season, any season, has 4 new moons rather than 3. In this case, the third new moon of the season is called the black moon.
That was a lot of information.
It sure was. It sure was.
We really hope that you take all of this video in chunks because there's so much great information that you can use. And as Arcana moves forward, we will be releasing a video based on the moon cycles each year ahead of time so that you know the kind of energy that is heading your way and the best ways to use its vibrations. For now, use this as your plan for the rest of 2021.
Here's a fun exercise you can do to help understand the energies of each moon. Okay, so you can always Google what sign is the full moon in, and then ask yourself this question. Okay, so let's say it's the flower moon at the end of May and you're looking for how to blossom. Take the zodiac sign you're in, Gemini, and then take the action that the moon sign does. Is in this case, Sagittarius, who is the archer. Ask yourself, if a Gemini was going to fire a bow, how would he do it?
I mean, obviously he'd fire every damn arrow he had and try and hit every single one of his dreams at the exact same time and then turn around and have a cocktail while forgetting about everything he just did, releasing it into the universe and trusting in the process.
And there you have it.
Geminis. The simple question you could ask yourself.
This formula will never steer you wrong.
Alright, that's it for today, friends. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and that little notification bell so that you don't miss a single piece of our upcoming content.
Yeah, and please leave a comment below about what your favorite moon is, or if where you live in the world, your culture celebrates a different traditional moon calendar. We love hearing how each culture represents their energies differently and working with it all together.
We hope that you're really loving all of this deep dive this month. I'm loving it so much.
It's been amazing.
So good.
Namaste, Soul Circle.
Much love.